I got it. I got it. Everybody have patience. We're here. Jeff.
Hi.
We're both Tristan still. Nobody fixed our names.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Oh, well.
People will figure it out.
Yeah, we're not as good looking as Tristan, so they will figure that out. Well, maybe I'm not anyway. You are.
Yeah, Tristan's a good looking guy. All right, so let's say who we've got here today, Jeff. And
I'm gonna let you intro.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think I should intro him because I am the one that invited him.
That's correct.
We've got on Malcolm Lawson, who is, in my opinion, probably one of the best agents right now to watch on YouTube. And I've been keeping an eye on him. We met in September-ish, September? No, October.
That's right. Yeah, a few months ago.
I think it was after I came back from Africa. I gauged my year on when I was in Africa.
Right.
And ever since then, he kind of got me thinking more about YouTube and how much YouTube is really kind of giving him leads and lead generation. And he's doing a lot of his leads through just being present on YouTube. And so it's got me thinking, gosh, it's time to get going on YouTube. So we wanted to pick your brain, Malcolm. Thanks for joining us. And maybe tell us a little bit about where you're at and just kind of your background.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks so much for having me on. Very excited. Big fan of Lab Coat Agents. Yeah, so I mean, I've been on YouTube for probably about 6 years now. I think 2014 is when I first started getting into YouTube really seriously. And I started a kind of an outdoor and camping channel. And then I got my license in 2016. And that's really when I started making a lot of videos for real estate as well. And so my outdoor channel, I think that's up to about 55,000 subscribers. It's got several million views on that channel. It's doing pretty well. And I still upload to it every now and then. And then my real estate channel, it's starting to pick up momentum as well. And last year, 2019, I did a little over $100,000 in GCI just from leads that I generated off of my YouTube channel. And they're still coming in. I'm getting 3-4 leads every week now from videos that I made 1, 2, 3 years ago. So it's definitely kind of an underutilized asset in the real estate industry for some reason. I don't get it. It's been around for 12 years now, but this real estate industry just hasn't really jumped on the bandwagon on YouTube very much.
100% right.
When I first started doing video, this is kind of embarrassing to me, but I thought I was going to be a YouTuber. And it wasn't going to be about real estate. It was just going to be about me being an idiot. And I quickly realized how hard it is to get traction on YouTube unless you're very specific with what you're doing for attracting people to your channel. And so I took a break from my channel that I had at that time and really started focusing on Facebook for video. And now I'm at the stage where I'm listening to you, and I've got a few other friends that are doing the YouTube bit for real estate and having great success. So you've inspired me for sure.
Good,
I want to get back into doing it. So
I'm gonna have to look up this old channel of yours now.
I think it deleted it. I did. It deleted. It got deleted, and I'm kind of sad about it. So for all of you that have a YouTube channel, just understand that it connects to a Google account. If you decide that you want to cancel that Google account,
oh no,
no to refreshing the payment on your Google account, you won't be able to recover any of the videos that you had on your YouTube channel. So I did lose a lot from my days of mini girl. That was what I call myself. And there was a few that had a lot of views on there, but oh well, I'm starting over.
Yeah, I had some videos up on YouTube back in 2008. That's when I really started playing around with it. But I had a lot of copyrighted music on all my videos, and YouTube went through this phase where it's just deleting all the videos with copyrighted music before they got into this crazy little copyright strike system that they have right now. So yeah, I have a bunch of videos that I've completely lost in 2008, 2009 timeframe. It's really kind of frustrating, but oh well. You move on.
You know, the thing about YouTube is, the thing about YouTube is I would compare it in a way, before you attack me, I'm gonna preface this by saying, in a way, to TikTok. And here's why.
No.
And here's why. And here's why. And here's why. The majority of the audience on YouTube that's going there to consume content every single day for entertainment is a young generation. Now, YouTube is owned by Google, which is why YouTube is a massive strategy for what Malcolm is doing and Ken Pozek is doing and so many others are doing, because it's basically a search engine. It's a search engine for the right kind of content. But I think the reason why a lot of realtors like you, Noelle, for example, have not gone on to YouTube is because, well, most, not you, you're a bad example. Most don't do it because it's all video. It's 100% video, and most agents aren't creating video, right? But
That's all I do.
I know that. Which is why it's amazing that you're not. But you're creating, in my opinion, you create entertaining content, whereas YouTube is more directed at keyword content. And I'll let Malcolm talk more about this, but it's more specific to SEO content that you need to be driving to YouTube.
So let me give you a counter argument to that. So yeah, YouTube's the second largest search engine in the world. And for many people, YouTube is the new Google. A lot of people are going to YouTube instead of going to Google. And in fact, Google obviously ranks a lot of YouTube videos on the first page of Google as well. And I think that there's definitely that older audience is also on YouTube. My dad's in his 60s and he's got his favorite YouTubers that he watches every day on his TV. You know, nowadays with all the smart TVs, they all come with YouTube installed, and YouTube's trying to really push to be a competitor against Netflix and Hulu. So they're pushing for longer form content. And because it's on TVs, now it's reaching a much wider audience. And I've closed several transactions of people in their 40s and 50s and 60s who are just using Google, and they're discovering my YouTube videos that way. So really, if anybody's using Google, then they're also a YouTube audience. That's my view on it.
100. No, that's true. That's a fact.
Yeah.
My dad was way into YouTube before I ever was. I thought YouTube was for older men. That's what I thought it was. And we as kids, we used it to watch like the crazy YouTube videos that are now like the old school hit YouTube videos. In fact, I went back and like rewatched some of these videos that we used to watch on YouTube that would now be like a viral sensation on Facebook or TikTok or wherever. Blah, TikTok. Jeff, I think you have a TikTok addiction that we're going to address after this. I've found an expert that's going to help you to get off the TikTok, but
not going to happen.
Let's for another time. But so I kind of disagree with what you said. I do think that there is a lot of content being viewed on YouTube instead of people watching TV now. Like in the morning, I wake up, people have asked me, how do I get my creative ideas? And I never hide it. I get up every single morning, walk on the treadmill every single morning, and I watch YouTube. And I watch the commercials that pop up on YouTube, and I watch what my favorite YouTubers are doing. And that's how I start my day almost every single day on YouTube. And I think there's a lot of people that are our age, which is, I'm not a millennial. And yeah.
So let me clarify what I said. So first of all, they're nothing alike. I didn't mean it that way. I didn't mean that they're a lot alike. What I mean is that YouTube, like our kids, and Malcolm, I don't know if you have kids, but I have teenage kids and I have younger kids. Okay. And I'm sure the 4-year-old's already well versed in YouTube.
He's glued to YouTube
Correct.
Kids on his tablet.
And that's really my point is that like, yeah, when we were kids, our generation, we grew up like wanting to be professional athletes or grew up wanting to be maybe an actor, something like that, right? Or maybe a musician. Whereas nowadays, like it is the norm. Kids are growing up wanting to be YouTube. That is what they want to do for a living. And I'm watching my 19-year-old daughter who has done very good at YouTube, totally organically. And she's now connected to Jake Paul. She's actually dating his assistant. And Jake Paul, this is
That's
like
a red flag right there.
He's it's ridiculous. Actually, I watch some of his stuff, and she sends me his stuff, and I'm like, this is so stupid. But that's what attracts. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
YouTube, that's what like viral YouTube, like YouTubers, that's what they're doing. All they're doing is documenting their life, which is what we all need to be doing, is documenting our lives, right? That's to me what the massive audiences, the majority audiences are using YouTube for. But I'm a massive proponent of YouTube because people like you, Karen Carr, I said Ken Poza, I mean, you guys are crushing. Like, it becomes a #1 strategy for real estate, the only strategy for real estate if you understand how to use it. And we want you to share how you're using it, how you're doing it, because for anybody watching this who's not utilizing YouTube, like, it can become the end game for your real estate business.
Yeah, 100%. You know, a couple of years ago, I remember hearing Gary Vaynerchuk talking about how on all these social media platforms, including YouTube, in each vertical, there's only going to be so many winners at that top. And once they're dominating, it's hard for anybody else to come up and compete. So it's hard for anybody to come up as a Minecraft gamer on YouTube because PewDiePie is just dominating that space. And I think the same thing is going to apply for our local cities. You know, like right now, I'm dominating searches for Maryland on YouTube, and I don't have any other competition from real estate agents. You know, Ken's dominating probably searches for Orlando, Florida, and he's really going all in on that. And it's gonna be so much harder for somebody 2-3 years from now to finally get into the game and start coming up and starting to take territory on that platform when, you know, somebody's already got 100 videos about your city published on YouTube. So like right now is the time to really get into this game and dominate your local city wherever it is.
Yeah, so if you're in Minneapolis, just sign off now. You don't need to keep listening. I agree, though.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, this was why I quit YouTube in the first place, because I started doing it and I was creating the same kind of content that I'm creating for, well, I shouldn't say I quit. We still load all of our stuff on YouTube, but I just stopped focusing on the content for YouTube because I was having so much fun with creating the creative stuff for Facebook. But I feel like there's a missed opportunity on my behalf for YouTube. And it wasn't until I started talking one-on-one with Malcolm at this retreat that we were at, and I was like, oh geez, I'm gonna have to do that. I have to do this. I have to get back into YouTube and start doing what Malcolm is doing, because it's working. It's working.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, it's working really well for me. And I mean, to your point, there's definitely a learning curve to YouTube, and there's a lot of weird elements that you have to learn. Whereas Facebook, it's a little bit more on just the merit of your video itself. You upload the video, if it's a good video, it'll do well. On YouTube, you could have a fantastic video, but if you don't optimize it correctly, if you don't have a good title, a good thumbnail, it's just not going to perform very well at all. So I think a lot of people get very discouraged when they put all this work into a YouTube video, but they forget about the title and the thumbnail, and nobody clicks on it, so the video just never performs very well on that platform.
Well, and speaking of thumbnails, it's not something that's just like magically easy in titles. You know, Malcolm and I were kind of chatting when we were talking about doing this video that we're doing right now. And Malcolm went on and started researching our Lab Coat Agents YouTube page, which if all of you guys are on here and you have not gone over yet the Lab Coat Agents YouTube channel, please go on there and follow it. There is so much great content. All of these videos that you're seeing, it's categorized by playlists, so you can send your newer agents there to get training. You can, if there's a certain topic that you're looking for, you're gonna find it on our YouTube channel. But what Malcolm pointed out is we could do a better job on our YouTube channel of doing our titles. And so we're gonna start working on that. And you know, it's not something that just naturally happens. You kind of have to test it out, and you have to think about keywords. And sometimes you have to think about clickbait a little bit.
A little bit, it helps.
Yeah.
One exercise that I force myself to do a lot of times, if I'm creating a title for a video, I'll literally force myself to write 10 different variations of that title just to figure out what's the best title to use for that video. And you want to look at your titles as if, as a lot of people look at a title like it's a label, like you're labeling a video, real estate tips. And instead you want to look at it as like a headline of a newspaper article or a blog post. And that, imagine if they don't have any other data except for that title, and that title alone is what they need to read and decide if they want to click on the video or not. So it has to have a strong hook in there, and it has to be a very clickable title. Yeah, they're very, very important, the titles.
One thing that Malcolm has done that I love is he throws it out to his own Facebook audience what he's going to use either for the title or what he's going to use for his thumbnail photo. He'll put like 4 different thumbnails together, and it won't necessarily be a link to his actual YouTube video, but he'll post it and he'll say, hey, out of these four thumbnails, which one do you like the best? And then he's creating awareness around the sphere that he's already developed on his Facebook about his YouTube channel. And so out of curiosity, they're going to go look at it, but then it's also getting engagement out of them to vote. And I just thought that was genius.
Yeah. And
Have you had good response with that?
What's that?
Have you had great response with that?
Yeah. Those posts get so much engagement. I've had some of those posts get 30, 40 comments of friends and families commenting on them. Like if you can make any kind of post where it's really simple, like, hey, choose 1, 2, and 3 and A, B, and C. Which one do you like best? If you can give them a really simple response like that, you're going to get a lot of engagement. But yeah, a lot of people, it kind of hypes them up for the video. It kind of brings awareness to them in my YouTube channel. And people just like giving their opinions and just going on there and saying which title or which thumbnail like best. What I try to do is I try to create at least 4 different thumbnails and then at least 3 different titles. And I'll throw that up on my Facebook page and ask people to vote which title and which thumbnail they like the best. And I'll do that before I actually launch the video, just so I know I have a strong title and a strong thumbnail first.
I love it.
I agree. And you know what, since you brought that up, Noelle, we do need to point out that, and Malcolm said this earlier, YouTube video content is long form content. It's not the same content that's going to perform on Facebook and Instagram. So you've got to keep that in mind. Like it's totally different, and you should be posting organically to both unless you're trying to drive traffic to YouTube, because your YouTube videos on Facebook are going to be suppressed, because remember, Facebook and YouTube are in competition with each other.
Yeah, Malcolm, every time I've posted even the word YouTube on my post, like Facebook just kills the post.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna kill this post right now.
Well, you upload it to your YouTube channel and hopefully get some views over there. But yeah, well, I mean, a video that's optimized for Facebook is a very different video that's optimized for YouTube. There's a little bit of overlap between those two, but there's not a whole lot. A lot of my videos, like a lot of my YouTube videos, I don't even bother uploading to Facebook because I know they're just not going to do very well. It's only kind of a certain type that does very well on Facebook. And with Facebook, 85% of all Facebook videos are played without any sound whatsoever. So on Facebook, your first challenge is do something to get their attention and get them to click that unmute button. You don't have that challenge on YouTube. On YouTube, your first challenge is just getting them to click on your thumbnail and title. And then typically how I structure my YouTube videos is that I try to start off with a hook at the very beginning. I kind of hype up what the value is of the video at the very beginning so that if you start off with a good hook, they'll actually watch longer. And you can see that on your charts that they'll watch your videos for longer. So yeah, definitely how you optimize for those 2 different platforms, very different.
Do you feel like you have set kind of a rhythm for yourself for how many times a month you're posting? And then are you sitting at the desk that we see you at right now for most of them? Or are you going on location? Kind of talk to us a little bit about what you're doing for actual
Right.
content.
Yeah, I mean, a really good rhythm that a lot of YouTubers follow is just posting weekly. And kind of a good habit a lot of people do is that they'll spend all month writing 4 scripts, and then they sit down 1 day a month and they film all 4 of those videos. And then they kind of edit those and publish them throughout the week. I am not that disciplined, unfortunately. My posting schedule is all over the place. I am terrible with consistency on that. And, lately I've been trying to put in a little bit more effort into my videos as well. I've been focusing more on the quality versus the quantity. And because of that, I can't necessarily post once a week. I tried doing once a week, and I can definitely notice my quality was suffering because of that. So, right now I've got a script that I've been working on for about a week and a half, just trying to do research and write out this script for one of my videos that I want to put a lot more effort into it. And what was your second question? I forgot already.
Are you like going out on location ever? Or are you always sitting in your hot seat here that we see you at?
Yeah,
if you're a follower, you'll notice that he changed his background. I watched him through his evolution.
I did. After meeting with Noelle and a few other folks, I was like, okay, I'm doubling down. I painted the wallpaper, or painted the wall blue, and I got some lights, and I went really started taking this seriously a few months back. Yeah, most of my stuff I actually just shoot right here in my studio. And honestly, like, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and that's pretty common on YouTube. That's part of the YouTube culture, is that people set up a little studio and they just kind of film all their videos in there. And it's just more about the information. And, you know, I've gotten into this debate with people before as well, that is it as effective if I'm shooting a video about my city, Annapolis, if I'm sitting here in my studio and I'm talking about my city, I just have like images going by of my city, is that as effective a video as if I was actually going out to the city and filming on the city location with that in the background? And I think it is. I think I can edit a video in such a way to still make it entertaining and informative here in my studio and still keep people's attention and still keep them watching the video. I don't think I actually lose anybody, or I don't think I lose any quality really from me filming in here rather than going out in the city. And it saves so much more time filming in here. You know, I've got one video, top 10 national parks in Maryland. If I were to go and actually film on location for all 10 of those parks in Maryland, that would take me an entire week just to film all that, and probably like 10 hours to edit it. But here in my studio, you know, I was able to film that video in like 30 minutes and edit it in a few hours. So it's also just about efficiency and being a little bit more efficient with your time and how you create your videos. So I'm definitely a big proponent of setting up a YouTube studio like this and just shooting most of your videos here.
I got to go on location, Malcolm.
Oh,
I got to go. And there's got to be multiple of me usually.
Yeah, I mean, here's the truth. Like, if you go on location, it would be a better quality video. You know, the quality would be better, but I don't think that necessarily means that it's going to perform any better on YouTube. That's my opinion.
I actually think how you're doing it is the smart way, which means how I'm doing it maybe isn't the smart way. I just said it here live for everybody to hear, but honestly, it's got me rethinking how much time I spend in my car driving around to film videos, because I spend a lot of time doing that.
But Noelle, remember, your video, the way your video strategy is more aligned with Instagram and Facebook, whereas Malcolm's very dialed in on YouTube. It's a different mindset, and I think that's where a lot of people struggle. Is you have to shift your mindset to create specific content, like what you're doing. Like, you're dominating your market because you're putting out content about the area, right? The market. And then people are Google searching specific terms, and that's how they're finding you.
Yeah, it's just about the native culture. So the native culture on Instagram and on Facebook, they probably want you to actually go out there in the location. But just the culture here on YouTube, this is very common to have a studio like this. Some of the biggest creators on YouTube just have a little studio that they shoot in. And, you know, you can learn some editing techniques to still make it very entertaining. You can I do this thing where I kind of switch my angle around. And another kind of a middle ground that you can do is that you film the majority, the meat and potatoes of the video here in your studio, and then you go out and you just shoot the B-roll actually out in your city. And I've done that a few times as well. And then I just splice that B-roll in as I'm talking about the city.
We have some questions from the audience here. So the first question is, what video of yours has received the most views?
So my most viewed video is top 10 abandoned places in Maryland. And I know a lot of people are like, that has nothing to do with real estate. And yeah, it doesn't, but it's reaching my target audience. You know, I was trying to come up with an idea of what kind of video can I get to have just people in Maryland watch it. And yeah, it's this one about abandoned places in Maryland. And I've absolutely gotten a listing appointment off that video. Somebody watched that one.
You should have totally gone to the locations for them.
Yeah. And so that's on YouTube. On Facebook, my biggest video was 10 things to know before moving to Maryland. And that one blew up and went viral within Maryland. And I got about 800,000 views in about 2 weeks on that one.
Wait, repeat that one.
Top 10 10 things to know before moving to Maryland. Okay. That one got about 800,000 views on Facebook.
And that's an idea that anyone watching this can do. Honestly.
Yeah.
That's such a good idea. Okay, here's another question. What editing program do you use? And then are you doing all your own filming and editing?
Yeah, I'm using Adobe Premiere. And I do all my own editing on that. I feel like it's part of that creative process. I've tried hiring an editor one time, and I just given up that control, and I was like, he just doesn't do it how I want it. And yeah, I kind of like editing. I like the editing process as well. I like just having some raw footage and just crafting it into this really entertaining video. And I like, pushing myself and learning new editing techniques. I'll watch a video and see somebody do a cool technique, and I try to like reverse engineer that. Like, okay, how can I do that technique in Adobe Premiere as well? So I definitely do all my own editing.
Then another person wants to know if the video that you just talked about on Facebook, did you boost it, or was that 800,000 views organically?
No, that was all organic. It got shared about 8,000 times. And that was literally like, I was about 3 months into being a full-time real estate agent. And yeah, so let me tell you the story, kind of how I shifted from Facebook to YouTube.
How many times was it shared?
A little over 8,000 times in about 2 weeks.
8,000 times for 800,000 views. Damn.
Yeah, you can look it up on my page. It's still there. And so that one, I was like 3 months into being a full-time real estate agent, and I literally got like 30 leads from that video within about 2 weeks. But I was such a bad agent, I only closed one of those videos. But I did close it, and I got a commission out of that. And then I was like, okay, that's proven the model. I can generate leads from videos. And I started trying to repeat that and started trying to create viral videos again. And so that's where I think the top 10 abandoned places came from, top 10 national parks. And I was doing all the same stuff, similar format, uploading it to Facebook, creating the 1:1 aspect ratio, embedding burning in the subtitles. None of them ever went viral again after months of trying to do that. No matter, you're following that checklist of everything you did, I still couldn't get another viral video to go. And kind of what my big takeaway was that going viral on Facebook is not really the business model that I want to follow. With YouTube, it's much more consistent. My videos, I've had a video on the first page of Google for moving to Maryland for 2 years now, and it's just consistently paying me leads. And yeah, creating viral videos is not easy. That's a tough game. Even professional marketers have a very hard time doing that, and they do that for a living. So that's kind of why I started shifting my focus more on YouTube.
Yep. Yeah, viral doesn't matter. Viral does not matter anymore. That's purely for ego.
Yeah, the way I look at it, that's like flipping a house. You flip a house, you make a big profit. YouTube is like receiving passive income from rental properties. I just get a few leads every now and then, but it's just over and over again for years.
Well, you just posted in the YouTube group that you have, and everyone, he has a YouTube group, we'll post to it after this, but you posted your check that you got from YouTube last year. And that's another thing that people don't think about, is using YouTube as another residual source of income.
Yeah, last year I made, across all my channels and through Amazon affiliate links, I made about $10,000 off of my YouTube channels.
That's pretty good.
It's very cool. It's nice. Yeah, it pays for some new gear. And truthfully, being a real estate agent's fine. I like it. I enjoy it, but my ultimate goal is to be a full-time YouTuber. So I just got to 10x that income. If I can make $100,000 off YouTube, I'm done with real estate.
I love it. Okay, awesome. So here's another question on here. We were asked, how many minutes on average are your videos? What do you try to aim?
So I try to shoot for at least 10 minutes or so. Some of them are a little bit longer than that. Yeah, YouTube definitely favors longer form content on their platform. So especially now that a large percentage of your views are coming from TV, and they're trying to compete with Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime, they want that longer form content that people will sit down on their couch and just watch. And, YouTube's got a few different algorithms, but the main focus of all of them is just to keep the user on the platform for as long as possible. And if I have a 10-minute video that keeps them on for 10 minutes and somebody else has a 2-minute video that only keeps them on for 2 minutes, YouTube's going to favor my longer video just because it's keeping people on that platform longer. So yeah, I definitely, I try to shoot for 10 minutes. I definitely have some that are a lot shorter than that. But really, I'd say create them as long as you can still make good content. You don't want to stretch out a 5-minute video into a 10-minute video and it be a bad video. But if you can create good content for a full 10 minutes or so, that's definitely a good mark to shoot for.
I've read somewhere that 5 to 8 minutes is the optimal time for YouTube. That could be old data, I'm not sure, but I think the point is it doesn't matter. You're proving that 10 minutes works. Like 10 minutes on Facebook doesn't work. It works on YouTube.
So if you just look at the biggest creators on YouTube, all of them, like PewDiePie, you know, he's doing 20, 30-minute long videos and getting millions and millions of views. And you look at all the big creators, their average duration has increased over time. Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of people are 10, 15, 20, 30-minute long videos is not uncommon on YouTube these days.
Yeah.
Speaking of creators, who are some of your favorite creators on YouTube to watch? Who are you watching?
So I really like the Vlog Brothers. That's Hank and John Green. And they do little videos right here in their studio, and they've get millions of views. I mean, obviously Casey Neistat, you know, he's really inspiring to watch. Graham Stephan, he does a lot of personal finance videos. I've been watching a lot of his stuff. That's kind of the direction I want to take my channel into.
Oh, who's the? I was like talking about Bitcoin and stuff that you were talking about.
Yeah, I watch a lot of Bitcoin stuff. Crypto Zombie is one that I watch a lot. That's his channel. He's got about 100,000 subscribers. And there's a new guy I'm watching right now. Andre Jick is his name. He literally went from 0 subscribers to 300,000 subscribers in 1 year, just this past year. And he does personal finance videos. And he's kind of a big inspiration for me right now. I'm trying to copy his style, I guess, and kind of focus it more on real estate in my channel.
Okay, here's another question from the audience. Getting lots of engagement today, which shows that YouTube is a hot topic right now for real estate. Mm-hmm. How often do you use subtitles?
Subtitles are really not important on YouTube. A lot of the big creators, they will get them subtitles and they upload them. I mean, there's two main benefits for doing that. One, you're making sure that YouTube's auto translation doesn't think that you're cursing in your video, because that could get your video demonetized. And then having the subtitles can also get you more exposure in other countries where people turn on subtitles, because it'll be more accurate. But truthfully, I don't think the juice is worth a squeeze on that one. I'm personally not really.
Does it up your ranking on SEO at all? Do they read the subtitles?
So they do read the subtitles. They read the auto-generated ones that they generate, and probably the ones that you put there as well. But I've seen a lot of creators say that they put subtitles and then they have videos that don't have subtitles, and they see no real difference in the performance there. I would say if you have an international audience, if you think that your content would be appealing to other countries, then maybe put some subtitles. And then maybe if you do a lot of work, you put a lot of energy into a video, you may want to upload subtitles just to make sure that they don't mistranslate a word in your context.
And here's another one. So this question actually is going to spur another question for me, because I feel like we're going to get a lot of like how-to questions on YouTube, and I want to know if you've got a place to direct them on how-to for YouTube. But this question is, any tips in terms of tagging when uploading your videos?
Of tagging?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So for when you upload a video, you have your title, your description, and your tags. That's known as the metadata, and that's the data that you can give YouTube about your content. And they have tags there. And yeah, I would say that YouTube puts less emphasis on the tags these days than they used to. So they're not as important as they used to be. But essentially, just for your tags, you want to make them all search terms that your video would be a good search result for. You know, there's a lot of people out there tell you put Zillow and Realtor.com, and maybe your video will rank for that. And no, it doesn't work like that. You really only want tags that your video be a good search result for. And then I also tell people to put personal branding tags. So put your name, put your channel name, put your team's name. I can't tell you how many times somebody tells me they got a YouTube channel, I'll type in their name on YouTube and I cannot find their channel. And it's because they don't ever use their name in the description or in the channel name or in their tags. They never tell YouTube that that's what their personal name is or that's what their team name is. So you have to give them that data. And I would definitely put that in your tags and in your description of the video.
I mean, it's almost like how you use hashtags on Instagram anymore, right? The Instagram hashtags are Well, I'm talking to
Yes.
Jeff now.
Okay, I don't do Instagram.
The tags in Instagram are so overpopulated that you really can't get much traction on most of the tags. But if you do personal branding tags, or you do like a coined term in your tags, then that's more of a searchable thing in Instagram. That's what I found anyway.
I've got two things to add to that. Number one, I don't want to go down the Instagram rabbit hole, but hashtags are still extremely important, and you can follow them with your analytics. Like it's extremely important, and there's some hacks that I've been learning from Dean, but I won't go down that rabbit hole right now. But when you're talking about keywords or tags for YouTube, one thing I learned the other day was it's not just words. Like you can do phrases. And so like if like I'm looking at your page, like moving to Waldorf or the benefits of a VA loan, don't just put VA loan, put benefits of a VA loan. Like what is the end user typing into Google? And that's so beneficial. Am I correct on that, Malcolm?
Yeah, I mean, I still do, I go after search. So there's multiple sources of views or traffic. You have suggested video, you have browse, which is essentially your home screen, and then you have search. And I still go after search traffic. And yeah, I do a little bit of keyword research. I figure out what people are actually searching for, what the words are that they're using. And I'll use those exact words in my tags, and I'll use those exact words in my description, and I'll use them in my title if I can create a good title. It's actually more important that it's a good clickable title than it is that it has the keyword in the title. I see a lot of real estate agents, they'll do some crazy title like Maryland real estate agent dash selling your home dash buying a home in Maryland. And like, that's not a good title. Nobody wants to click on that, even though you crammed all those keywords in there. So yeah, absolutely. If you can use your keyword, it will help you rank, but it has to be a good title as well. It has to be enticing. So my moving to Maryland, it's 10 things to know before moving to Maryland. That kind of entices people. It's not just moving to Maryland, or I have one pros and cons of living in Maryland. So I have my keyword in there, but I have some other words in there to make it a good title.
Can we talk about that for a minute? So like what would be advice that you would give to somebody, because you're putting a big emphasis on titles, which is you're the first person I've talked to that really is emphasizing that. What is some advice that you would give to somebody listening to saying, all right, I've got to be better. Do I need to like have copyright ability? What is it that I'm trying? What is it that you're thinking? What are you thinking? You create a video specific to an area or your parks or whatever it is. So what is your thought process on coming up with that killer title?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, studying copywriting is not a bad thing. A lot of big YouTubers absolutely do that. BuzzFeed, for example, they have great titles of their articles. And whenever I see a good title, I'll literally like sit there and look at the BuzzFeed title and kind of analyze, like, why is that a good title? Why is that so compelling? And I think the best exercise, is to study good titles. Maybe do a search. Like if you want to, do a search and start paying attention to what everybody else's titles are and why they're good titles. And I like the exercise of just forcing yourself to write out 10 different titles in your videos, for your videos. And I even have like a little cheat sheet that I made up of just different words I can use in my titles, like best, pros and cons, extreme, just these phrases that I can put into my title to try to spice them up a little bit. And then, again, posting them on Facebook and asking people's opinion. What do you think is the best title out of these things? Why I chose to move to Maryland, 10 reasons not to move to Maryland, pros and cons of moving to Maryland. What's the best and most clickable title out of all of those? And sometimes I'll upload a video and maybe it doesn't perform as well as I was hoping it would. And I'll go back a few days later and I'll change that title again. You'll see a lot of big YouTubers do that they'll upload a video and then you check on their channel a couple of days later and they have a different thumbnail on that video. And that's because it wasn't performing as well and they're switching out the image to see if the next image would do a little bit better.
Yeah.
Interesting. I love it.
Okay, so back to the question that I asked about who would you suggest to follow for YouTube advice? Are there any YouTubers that you see out there doing YouTube advice? Like I could name a few of them, but I want to know who you like, who you see giving that kind of content, and where should people go? And this is a plug maybe toward your group, but where should people go if they're looking for help on YouTube?
Yeah. Oh, thanks for the plug. Yeah. So I've got a Facebook group. It's called Real Estate YouTube Mastermind. And I'm constantly posting content in there, and other real estate agent creators are in there posting content and asking questions. We also do a weekly live stream in there where we answer everybody's questions about YouTube and using it in our business. And as far as big YouTube creators go, I'm a big fan of Daryl Eves. He's
I would say.
Do you know him?
Yep.
Yeah, I like him. I like him a lot. He's the founder of Vid Summit, which I plan on going to this year. And he's just really analytical, which I can really relate to. And yeah, he definitely really understands the platform. And then Tim Smoyer is another one that I really like. And he's a little bit more focused on building that audience and building that relationship with your audience. But he still teaches a lot of really effective techniques. Nick Nimmin is another really good one who I like watching. He's a little bit newer, but he's up to 500,000 subscribers. Think Media is another one. Man, I could go all day listing off these people. Like, this is what I do for fun. I listen to podcasts about YouTube and I read articles about YouTube. You know, I'm just that into it.
This goes back to something that I always say to people when they ask me, what's your ROI? You know, why are you doing video? Why do you put so much time into video? And my answer is, well, why do you put so much time into learning a new CRM? Or why do you put so much time and money into buying leads? You know, it's the same exact thing, only this is something where you get to create and you get to watch YouTube and learn something that you already are interested in, and then use that to make you money.
Yeah, I think this is one of the coolest forms of lead generation that there is. I can't think of too much cooler than just making videos all day. Like, for me anyway. I'm sure there's some people who love client appreciation events and all that stuff, but I just like making videos all day, and it's cool that I made $100,000 last year just from making videos. And not many people can say that.
Totally.
100%.
Well, we've about reached our time limit here, Jeff. Do you have any other questions?
There was a question about if you, I guess you referenced your cheat sheet, if that was something you would be willing to share in the comments.
Yeah, I can do that.
Link to it, or? Yeah,
absolutely. Should I attach it as in the comments, I guess? Can I do that? Yeah.
Yeah.
When we hang up on this Zoom thingy, we usually go back through and we answer as many of the questions as we can. So, but we answered most of them today in the video. So
good. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll hop in there as well, see if I can answer some questions.
Yeah, Justin, awesome. And let me give a shout out to Justin Pekarek, I think it is. He has been just chiming away, and so thank you for sticking with this. That's awesome, man. We appreciate you.
Yep. Well, cool. Thanks.
Noelle, do you have them all in Zoom? Did you get all the Q&As and all the questions in Zoom?
Yep, we got everything. We got it all.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Did we talk about Vimeo? There was a question about Vimeo.
No.
Is using Vimeo instead of YouTube a way around Facebook suppressing views, or are they also the enemy?
I think Facebook just doesn't like you taking anybody away from the Facebook platform at all. And actually, YouTube's the same way. If a lot of people, you know, their call to action is like, hey, go to my website. But YouTube doesn't like that. They can see, they track a user's session time, and they can see that when they show this video, 10% of the users end their session and leave the platform. So yeah, Facebook and YouTube, they want to keep people on that platform for as long as possible. So I don't really know a good way around that. What a lot of YouTubers do is that they'll post an image of their thumbnail and say, hey, new video, link in the comment section. And then in the comment section, they'll post a link to their video. It still doesn't work that great, but I think it gets suppressed a little less to post your YouTube video.
Yeah.
And Noelle, the answer to that question, Noelle, is the Vimeo question is, he and Malcolm, you said it best. Like, if it takes you off the platform, it doesn't like it. So it wants organic posting. So if you're going to be lazy and try to post all your content one place and share it everywhere, it just doesn't work. You've got to put the work in.
Yep. Totally. Yep. It's a full-time job, people. It's what we do in real estate. It's lead gen.
Got to do your lead gen.
Yep. Can't just sit here and make money. You got to do something, make that money. Unless you're Jeff.
Can't help it, you know?
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. And Jeff, in 2 weeks? 2 weeks, from today? All right. We will see you back there then. Thanks, Malcolm.
Thank you, Malcolm.
Bye.
Bye-bye.